Thank you for your interest. My name is Larry Mullins, and I have developed a new program I'm calling AutoQuiz. This program runs on PC and allows teams to record the response to quiz questions. These recordings can be saved and then used to compare to other teams taking the same quiz, which allows the possibility of a virtual competition. I did not develop this program to replace current quizzing, but to be used as a way for teams to quiz other teams in spite of distance or quarantine restrictions. I've tried to make the development fit as much as possible the way team to team quizzing is done. I see it useful for the current state of the world, but also useful in strengthening teams in the disciplines required for team to team quiz. I hope you give it a try. To make it fair for each team who uses AutoQuiz, you must have the same quizmaster. The program utilizes text to speech to synthesize the quizmaster voice. Because it is automated and the computer controls the start and stop, you can measure the time between the start of the reading of the question till the quizzer hits a key and stops it. The program is set up to use keys on a keyboard, but to give a more quiz-like experience, you can attach the grass-like quiz box to the computer, and each quizzer can then use the paddles like a regular quiz. Let me demonstrate. Okay, this is the program, and what you will see when you go into it the first time are the settings page. And basically, you want to enter your church name, team name, coordinator, and email, because this information is important for basically a competition, because I need an email address when you email it to the coordinator. Um, they also need the quizzer's name. If you want to just fill in briefly this information up here, you can fill this in later and just use the defaults. Okay, basically it comes into here. It's already got two sets in it, one for TBQ, which is the first set, and one for JBQ. I'm a JBQ guy, plus the questions are a little bit shorter, so I'm going to stick with JBQ on the examples here. But basically, you open the program, start the match, and hit speak.
Question. Question number 1 for 10 points. How are people different from animals?
And then you would buzz
Red
in,
1.
and it would recognize the quizzer. This number right here above is the time it took from the start of when it was speaking to the moment you buzzed in or stopped the question with the keyboard. And basically, that's what's going to key to making this perfect as far as that goes, being able to time when the response was. And that way you can compare it to another team taking the identical quiz and get it right or wrong. We're going to give it correct in this case. We're going to go on to the next question. And you hit speak again.
Question. Question. Pre-response foul.
If you interrupt or stop the question before it finishes the introductory remarks, which is the first line, it'll give you a pre-response response statement, and you just have to start over with the question. Since there's only one team, there's no penalty really for hurting anybody. So you hit speak again and it'll start.
Question. Question number 2 for 20 points. Quotation question. What did Peter interruption red 1.
And if you stop the question down here in the question, it will flag it as interrupt and still recognize the quizzer. Again, you have the time from the moment it started the question till the moment they buzzed in. And you would use this one whether they're right or wrong. And then you would judge it correct or incorrect and go on to the next question. And that's how it works as far as demonstrating it. Currently, there is no foul tracking in the program. With only one team in the room, most fouls can easily be taken care of without penalty because there is no other team to offend. There are no substitute questions, as this would throw off the compare. The computer reads the question and there will be no fumbles in the reading because it's automated. Outside interruptions or hindrance to the quizzer answering the question, well, until there's a better answer, the question will be to flag it as a no response. Basically, they're not going to get any points. Pre-response interruptions, in most cases, you can just restart the question like we did before. Officials are still needed to run the computer, judge the answers incorrect or correct, and manage the match. The design is around one team in the room, officials managing the match, and measuring the response of the quizzers to all the questions. It is recommended that you have one neutral official to the team that if you choose to make a virtual competition. The neutral official can physically be there or teleconference into the match. I believe you can use the program to run a virtual quiz competition. The way the competition would work, one, you register the teams, create and distribute sets to the teams when they're ready to compete. Teams should be instructed to quiz over the question sets only once, measuring the response using the program. You may seat as many as 8 quizzers to quiz at one time. I realize it's even less for TBQ. Quiz outs will remain the same, both forward and backwards. In settings windows, make sure you have the church name, team name, and each quizzer has their full names, and that's what I was saying before in the settings window. Okay, after completing the match, go to the compare question screen and select the quiz file and email to the coordinator. If there are more than one match, complete them all before emailing. You can go to the compare results, select the match that you're in, hit compare. It'll give you your results, and this is what you're going to, you don't have to see it here. What they're going to get is these quiz files, and you would just multiple select them and hit email sets. After the coordinator will take the files and use the compare setting windows to compare team competition. Each question for the teams will be evaluated, and the team with the fastest time and correct answer will be awarded points. Quiz out points will not be taken away. Even if the team loses on every question, they will retain the points for the team as a bonus. Individual points will be kept and awarded for each quizzer regardless of the time. This way, every quizzer can be measured on their knowledge. And what I'm trying to say is what will happen is the coordinator will take the 2 quiz files that are coming from 2 different teams, bring it into the same program, hit compare. And as you can see here in question number 3, the top team won the speed and they got the points. And likewise, what you'll have here is the competition, is the total points for the team and each individual. This column represents their total points for individually quizzing and what they didn't lose. And this is what would be used for individual competition. And then you got your bonus column, and then you have an SB, which is for speed bonus. I was working with one coordinator who wanted to be able to give additional points to the individual quizzers when they beat out the other team. And that's what that is. And all you do is just turn it on and compare. But you got everything you need here to make a regular match. After the results are compiled, the coordinator will email you the results, and what I'm imagining right now is these scores would be entered into ScoreKeep, and likewise the similar tabulation as what you'd have at a regular match would be done, and those results would be emailed out. This is still a work in progress, and I'm sure things will change. If you're interested in using the program for local church, go for it. I think it's a great tool for getting the kids to quiz faster. If you're an area coordinator and want to use, please let me know and I will do my best to help. And mainly I want to know how it's being used is what I'm anxious for. Thanks again for your interest. Larry Mullins.